Okay, we're good.
It is 5:12. We apologize for being late. There are no reportable actions in closed session, and with the board's approval, I'd like to skip down and go into presentations while we have an audience here. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Let's do that. Presentations.
Well, hello everyone. Hi. Thank you for allowing us to present. I am Mrs. Davis, the school principal at Barstow Fine Arts Academy. And these are some of my amazing fifth graders. So come on.
Don't be shy.
Amazing beagles. And we have Mrs. Holton as well, our fifth grade teacher. And then each of our students will introduce themselves. Go ahead, Anthony, you're okay.
You do it.
It's okay.
That's how I feel every meeting.
I'm fine at school and then in front of you guys.
Mrs. Davis, maybe if you go to the next one, maybe.
Yes, we'll come back to you, okay?
Hi, Camila.
I'm Jonah.
Hi Madison.
Hi, Madison.
I'm Aiden.
I'm Zion.
I'm Dylan. I'm Anthony.
Hi, like she said, I am Melissa Hilton. I teach fifth grade at Barstow Fine Arts, and these are a few of my amazing students. And today we want to show two different things we are working on in class and around our school. As ambassadors for the school, our goal is to make a difference not only for our students, but our teachers as well.
What is a hero? A hero. A hero can be a teacher, military, my family, friends, and myself. A hero can be anyone that makes a difference and stands up for others. What makes a hero? A hero can protect others. Yesterday for 9/11 and Patriots Day, we made ribbons to honor those who lost their life. International Dot Day is Friday. Our class goal is to not only teach them, but also to learn to be better versions of ourselves.
And then, so on Friday, if you don't know, is International Dot Day. Dot Day is a celebration of creativity and art, a celebration of innovation and community, local and globally. Dot Day is a celebration of impact, a time to think about how we can make our mark. It is a day to use our energy, talents, and time to make the world a better place. It is a day to make our world a more colorful place. It invites you to create bravely. A celebration of human potential, a reminder to think of each day as a new day, a blank page, a chance to make it the best day yet. Dot Day can be today, tomorrow, next week. It can be every day.
How we can make our mark. We can help others, make others feel seen, protect others, and stick up for others. Here are a couple of our dots and our marks. So we ask you, how can you make your mark?
And so they are passing out, they are asking you to think about how you are going to make your dot and your impact for our world.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
We appreciate you letting us come in. Yes, yes. Thank them.
Well, thank
We
you.
are here.
Thank you for attending, appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, next, pardon? Next, we go into recognition of retired members of the Citizens Oversight Committee. The Board of Trustees will recognize the following members of the Citizens Oversight Committee for their two-term, 6 years of service. Okay, Mike Christ from 2017 to 2023, Marilyn Dyer Cruz from 2017 to 2023, Marcia Wiesem from 2017 to 2023.
All right, let's see what happens. Oh gosh, I'm gonna make them so we can get them out. Oh, yeah, there we go. All right. We have, this states with our greatest appreciation, BUSD hereby honors Marilyn Dyer Cruz in recognition for your passion and commitment to the Citizens Oversight Committee 2017 to 2023. This one's from Marilyn.
Thank you.
And then, also with our greatest appreciation, the USD hereby honors Mike Christ in recognition for your passion and commitment to the Citizens Oversight Committee 2017 to 2023. Also, with our greatest appreciation, BUSD hereby honors Marcia Wiesema in recognition for your passion and commitment to the Citizens Oversight Committee 2017 to 2023. And then all three of us? All four of us.
Three.
Thank you.
And then we'll do.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your
Thank you
service.
also very much, appreciate it.
It's very nice.
Thank you.
This is my 11th year to be asked, actually.
There you go.
Okay, we're going to go to the approval of the minutes. It is recommended that the board approve the minutes of August 22, 2023 regular board meeting. Can I get a motion and a second? So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Business from the floor. The board meeting is a business meeting of the board held in a public forum to comply with the Brown Act. It is not a town hall meeting with the board. This is the time for citizens to present problems or questions they feel the board should discuss. Individuals are encouraged to address the full board, not individual board members. The law prohibits the board from taking action on items not on the agenda. Requests to speak cards should be filled out in advance and presented to the superintendent's executive assistant. Instructions for submitting remote public comments can be found on our website, busdk12.com, under the tab Board of Trustees. The board has a policy of limiting any speaker to not more than 3 minutes. For the record, please state your name, and I believe we have some requests to speak cards.
We do, we have three, and the first request to speak is Davina Rodarte, and she's speaking in reference to the clay counseling incident at Skyline Park. You want to come up?
Here. Okay. Hi, my name is Davina Rodarte. My children attend Skyline North Elementary. Sorry, I'm a little emotional about it. I wrote the statements, but I don't forget what I'd like to say. I am here before you as a concerned parent and lifelong member of the community of Barstow. As you already know, on August 17th, the students at North Skyline Elementary, including my 9-year-old son, they were shown an age-inappropriate video by a group claiming to educate on diversity and cultural understanding. Although I do not disagree with the intention of creating cultural awareness, I strongly disagree with the method of dispersion. The video contains sexual language and sexual imagery inappropriate not only for the age level, but for an educational setting in general. When I asked my son about the video, without prompt, he stated that they were shown an inappropriate video, and when he saw 2 cockroaches twerking, it made him feel uncomfortable, and he looked away. I am disappointed and baffled that the video was not screened by staff and/or administration prior to being presented to the students. And I feel that in these situations where the presentation is outside of the normal curriculum, at minimum, a permission slip should be obtained. Although the district and the school site advocate for parent involvement, I fear that at this time, the incident is being swept under the rug, and many parents remain uninformed about this situation. We first reached out, and when I say we, I mean me and my husband. We first reached out to the principal, Dr. McDonald. Our concerns were directed to the school district. When we then reached out to the school district, we were told that the school site was first given the opportunity to handle these types of incidents before the district became involved. Dr. McDonald promised to send a letter home notifying parents of the incident, and she promised she would do that the week of Monday, August 28th, and also stated that she would speak to each class about the inappropriateness of the video and that she would apologize to the students throughout that same week. However, as of current date, none of these promises have been fulfilled. That is why I'm here today. I am here because of the love I have for my children and the children of our community, and I will continue to advocate on their behalf and stand as a protector of their mental and emotional safety. I believe as parents, educators, and administration, we should all share the common goal of providing our youth with a safe and an encouraging environment in which to thrive in both educational and emotional. And I hope that this incident serves as a reminder to be vigilant, and I hope the proper corrections are made moving forward. Thank you.
Request to speak. Second card is Mr. James Duarte in reference to naming of the science building at Barstow High School.
Okay, I hope I'm not like that 5th grader right next to you. Anyway, good afternoon, board members, great personnel of the Barstow Unified School District, and awesome people of Barstow. My name is James Duarte. I grew up in Barstow. I was a proud graduate of Barstow High School, moved away for college, taught 3 years in Duarte, California. My students there, 5th and 6th graders, always wondered if my grandfather had founded that city. How else could their city and their teacher have the same name? It was perplexing to them. After that, for most of the next 38 years, I taught at Barstow High School, mostly history, and I also did some coaching. You might be aware that I'm here to request that the board seriously consider doing something that would positively enhance the image and prestige of Barstow High School as an institution of high achievement and as an institution that takes pride in its campus. As one drives onto the campus after exiting Buena Vista Street, the first building being approached is the science building. if high up on the north-facing wall were the words Leon Hunter Science Building, it would convey the feeling that the school is serious about its academics and the people who work there. It would have the essence or aura similar to a university campus. It would show that we are proud. It would inspire students and staff to excel. It would demonstrate that high academic achievement will be recognized and appreciated. Why Mr. Hunter? Mr. Hunter was perhaps, no, I should actually declare that he was the best instructor and mentor that the school and the district ever had. And that's saying something because we've had a lot of great people in Barstow. Mr. Hunter served in the Barstow Unified School District from 1953 to 1986. He taught at Barstow High from 1953 to 1967. He was then a BUSD administrator from 1967 to 1986. His last assignment was as an assistant superintendent. He was an excellent teacher. I had the privilege of being a student of his during my freshman and sophomore years. His enthusiasm and knowledge made me love the subject of biology. He did the same for thousands of other students. In his second year as a teacher at Barstow High School, he started a science club. The students were taken on field trips to colleges that had science open house programs. He had Saturday workshops, prepping students for national science talent competitions. Under his guidance, mentorship, and inspiration, he had several students win sweepstakes at the San Bernardino Riverside County Science Fairs, which were judged by 8 to 9 scientists. The Barstow High kids won sweepstakes, the absolute highest award in 1961, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 69, 70, 71, and 72. One of the students won first place in the world competition at the International Science Fair. I'm getting emotional, I'm not sure why. Mr. Hunter conceived of and got funding for the, I used to get this way with my athletes. Sorry. Anyway, he conceived of and got funding for the Desert Research Station. It was a discovery, hands-on field approach to ecological science. It was established in 1970 and was utilized until 1990. I'm thinking that perhaps some of you went on field trips out to the DRS when you were a student in the district. In just the first year and a half of its operation, 7,000 school district kids in grades 5 through 12 experienced that station. The Desert Research Station had served students who had published their research results in national journals, won expense-paid trips to Hawaii, New York, Dallas, Detroit, and Washington, D.C., obtained part-time research jobs while in high school. Some of his former students completed PhD degrees in science. Some went on to become scientists, medical doctors, and medical researchers. The school has demonstrated that it will recognize those who have had success in athletics and music. And that's awesome. But it's time to recognize an individual who was the absolute, best instructor and mentor that the school and the district has ever had. Last week on 2 Facebook group sites, growing up in Barstow and Barstow High School Riffians, over 220 individuals indicated that they would love to have Mr. Hunter honored in this way. One last thing, if you were to decide that this is definitely a positive and worthy thing to do for Barstow High School and for the great city of Barstow, it would be awesome to move on it quickly, for Mr. Hunter is quite elderly. I believe he's 94 years old. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And our last request to speak is John Pennick, wishes to speak to the board in reference to school guidance on parent notification.
So first of all, please forgive me. This is my first school board meeting I've ever been to in my life. My name is John Pennick. What I was expecting when I came here was to get answers. After this gentleman read the introduction, when he come up, apparently I'm not gonna get those answers today. So I need to figure out how to set up that appointment to speak with somebody one-on-one, because I want answers. Because like this young lady here, I have an issue with the school district. Unlike this young woman here, I do not just sit in the background and talk. I will get very physical when it comes to my kids. I have already talked to the principal and the vice principal about this stuff, because I'm not getting notified when something happens with my kids. And that is not good with me, especially when the school district is a mandated reporting system. I 100% agree with that. I 100% support that. But how can I, as a parent, do anything for my child if I'm not even aware of it? So again, I came here for answers, and apparently I'm not going to get those today. So I need to know how to set up that meeting to where I can get those answers I want. Because it definitely is not going to happen at the school level. So I will escalate it to the next level, which is you ladies and gentlemen here.
Mr. Pennick, I'll have my administrative assistant, Christina Crane, reach out to you to set up an appointment with me. Thank you.
Be in contact with you first thing in the morning.
I'll hang out until this is over, and then I'll get with you, ma'am.
Sounds perfect.
And do we have anything else?
No.
Nothing? Okay. Reports, staff reports. The 2023-2024 10-day enrollment report and actual student count. I assume Mr. Beaton.
Yes.
Thank you. So for our first count of the year, we do a warm body count. Actually count the bodies that are coming in enrollment. So our 10-day average is here. It'll be different from when we actually get enrollment, which is CBED's Day, October 7th, or first Wednesday in October, sorry. You can see here we have from difference from this year to last year of 296 on the average. So that's kind of gives us an idea of where we're going from year to year. And this is an information one.
Thank you. Superintendent's report. Ms. Swearingen.
Thank you. Report. Good afternoon, board members, staff, and guests. On August 24, 2023, I received a letter from Albert M. Toro of the Knights of Columbus acknowledging the superior efforts of 10 of our Barstow High School football players. These 10 players spent a Saturday afternoon assisting the Knights of Columbus, Frey Garces Council 1830, Joseph Scott Assembly 79, Casey's of Barstow, and Gray Garces Inc. with a cleanup day at their hall on Victor Street. The players cleaned up weeds and picked up trash. Mr. Toro stated, "We appreciate their help so much because without it, we would probably have been there most of the day, but we were done in an hour and a half." I'd like to acknowledge the fine example of Aztec pride these 10 players exhibited. Anthony Stanton, Olofamani Leolofi, I'm gonna do the best I can. Alo Leolofi, Eloalai AJ Leolofi, Deacon Cardenas, Leolofi Api Tofiano, Samuel Hu Tofiano, Marcus Nava, Nicholas Gao, and Kisei Gao. All board trustees have been presented with a copy of the letter as you entered the board meeting today. On Monday, September 11, myself and 4 cabinet members attended the 9/11 commemoration ceremony hosted by the City of Barstow and the Barstow Fire Protection District. This ceremony was held at the Barstow Fire Protection District, where I, Assistant Superintendent Scott Godfrey, Chief Business Official Douglas Beaton, Director Supportive School Climate Dr. Minnie Williams, Director Instructional Support Services Jamie Fisher, and other community leaders placed American flags and flowers at the base of the Fireman's Hat Monument to honor and remember the 2,977 lives lost on September 11, 2001. Known as Patriot Day, September 11 is a day for all United States citizens to never forget. I'd like to thank the district's Athletic and Activities Director, Vince Williams, for the Barstow High School complimentary pass issued to all board members and the superintendent. The pass admits the bearer and guests into all home athletic events for the 2023-2024 school year and was on the desk for you when you arrived today as well. A big shout out to MNO staff, Viviano Toledo Delgado and Fabian Carretero Sanchez, for installing our new school signs in the boardroom. Each sign represents one of our 12 schools by proudly displaying the school's mascot. And those are the signs behind guests, right behind us on the wall. I have been to every school site and I have entered nearly every classroom and office this school year. I'm very proud of the work I have seen being done each time I am on a school site. Barstow Unified School District has amazing staff who are dedicated to ensuring all Barstow Unified School District students have an exceptional 2023-2024 school year.
All right, board reports. Ms. Clemmer.
I have nothing to report.
I have nothing to
Mr.
report.
Watson, Mr. Haldred.
Just wanted to echo the sentiments as far as September 11th and never forgetting. I do think it's a huge part. I know this is academics, but definitely a huge moment for our history, for our country. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Perea?
I have nothing to report.
I don't have anything to report, but I concur with your sentiments and your feelings. It's an important day, definitely I remember it well. We'll go into student representatives report, Ms. Massimini.
Sure. So last Saturday was homecoming, which was very successful. We sold over 400 tickets and made quite a big profit to help the school with ASB. So at the homecoming game during halftime, we crowned King and Queen, Samaje Bingwe and Alondra Rodanes. Next Wednesday, the sophomores are gonna get ready to paint Bee Hill on the 20th. And then senior portraits are gonna be taken with prestige portraits from the 26th through the 28th.
Thank you very much. Representatives reports, BEA, Ms. Lewis.
Hello. So we had a Friday Night Lights event at the Barstow High School that went really well last week for our members. I think we gave them a voucher for the boosters and the
Football and
football
boosters.
boosters, okay, the band of the boosters. And that went really well. It was nice to see our teachers going out and have a little bit of fun. Unfortunately, I missed it because I was sick, but I heard it was really good. But we still have a concern with the SEIS program, the SEIS program. For our STC teachers, they're feeling really overwhelmed right now with the amount of work that is coming their direction. Right now at their meeting, they are taking notes for each section of the IEP, which is a whole lot of different sections, like every single goal and every single everything. And then they're gonna have to enter that into the new program separately by section, but yet we don't have login numbers yet. We don't have any access to the program. So they're starting to feel really overwhelmed, they're starting to stress them out because the longer it takes us to get this program, understand the more notes they're taking and the more it's gonna take them to input. Because if you already have the program, you're inputting during the meeting or prior to the meeting, and that works. But if we're waiting for this program to keep taking handwritten notes or typewritten notes, and we're not guaranteed that it's going to copy and paste into the program, because I'm told it might be a type of PDF program, I think the unknowns is a little bit too overwhelming for my sped teachers right now. So I'd like to see if we can get that looked into, please. We do appreciate the timely negotiation process we have for the 23-24 year school district. Thank you for that. And we look forward to our updated CBA. So we do appreciate negotiations being done for this year and we'll start looking together for next year. But thank you.
Thank you. CSEA, I do not see Ms. Gonzalez. So do we have a representative? No?
No.
Okay. Personnel Commission, Ms. Dole.
Board members and guests, the regularly scheduled meeting of the Personnel Commission is this Thursday, September 14th at 4:30. The new Joint Commissioner, Mr. Ben Rosenberg, is scheduled to be sworn in. Barstow Unified currently has 343 classified employees. We have 5 recruitments open and 4 recruitments in the screening testing phase. Thank you.
Adoption of the agenda. I want to pull a couple items, K4-1 and K4-4. Any other board members have anything they'd like to pull? No, okay. K4-1. No. K4, where am I? K4-1,
We'll
Give me-
move those to discussion. Under business services,
pardon me?
it's under business services, we'll move those to discussion.
Okay. So then can I get a motion to accept the adoption of the agenda?
Is that
Second,
the,
in
is
a
that the
second.
only one you want to pull?
No.
What did I say? K4-1 and a K4-4? No?
Yes,
Okay.
K41 and K44 both are under business services.
Right,
And both will be moved to discussion.
okay. So then back to the adoption of the agenda. Can I get a motion in a second?
So move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. To the consent agenda,
To the discussion.
discussion low. Okay, discussion, okay, of K41. Give me a second here, my computer's jumping around. No, I'm making it jump around. I'll take responsibility.
But did we adopt the consent agenda?
Not adopt, or we have not approved the consent agenda.
Right, we just adopted the agenda, now we're going to consent, right?
Well, that's what I thought, but then I thought you guys said that we need to discuss for K41.
That'll be after consent,
After you do the consent.
Okay, so then we go to consent agenda then,
right,
correct?
yes.
Motion to adopt the consent agenda with those items pulled.
Can I get a motion to adopt the consent agenda with the items pulled?
So moved.
So move. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, let's see if I can do this without my computer. Discussion items? Where we're at?
It's up on the.
K41, the approval request for allowance of attendance because of emergency conditions district-wide due to power outage. I pulled that just because I wanted to bring and get some knowledge on what goes into this and get an idea on how this works and the monies that we're talking about. So if you can address that and shine some light on that for us.
I would be happy to do so. So anytime that we are looking at concerns for staff and student safety in regards to weather, or it could be some sort of out of our control event that is happening in the community, there are a whole host of situations that could occur during the school year that might require the superintendent to consider closing the school day or several school days. But to make that decision is very complicated, and if it's not part of the eligibility requirements under the CDE, we may lose funding for that day or days. And a total days funding for on average 6,400 enrollment of students in this district is the equivalent of about $445,000. So to make the decision to close the school just on one day, we weigh that cost with the safety of our students and staff. We do have guidelines from the CDE that are out there that assist us in making those decisions. And some of those, I have a list of some of those are in reference to health and safety. So we have to ask ourselves, is access to the school site impeded by whatever the incident is or whatever the situation is? Will the school be able to provide adequate supervision? Is backup power available, and or does the site have adequate daylighting should it be in reference to a power outage? Will the school have safe drinking water and functioning bathrooms? Can the site maintain fire and life safety via alarms or backup monitoring? Will the school be able to serve meals? And/or will the school be able to maintain student support services as far as health and counseling? So some of those are the health and safety concerns that we have to consider, or I have to consider as superintendent when we are looking at possibly closing school for a day or multiple days. Those are the health and safety concerns. But we're also required to look at it through an equity lens. And some of the items that we need to consider through equity are the socioeconomically disadvantaged families that may not have options for alternate childcare if we close schools. Working parents and guardians who are disproportionately affected by school closure and who could suffer significant professional or economic consequences as a result of us closing schools. Students receiving free or reduced price meals may not have a reliable alternate source of healthy food available to them if the school is closed. Students with individualized education programs may not have access to needed services during school closure, and/or schools provide safe and supportive environments for their students. Our most vulnerable students rely on them the most. So those are some of the items we have to consider under the equity lens as I'm considering as a superintendent closing the school for the day, such as we had to do in this event, which was the Hurricane Hillary, which turned into Tropical Storm Hillary during the Sunday, which was August 20th, and then impacted our school opening for regular school day on Monday, August 21. But in addition to all of those things, we also have to consider the instructional time that is lost to students if we close school. And the factor here is instructional time is foundational to students' academic achievement. LEAs should, or local education agencies such as school districts, should consider adding instructional days or minutes to the school calendar when time is lost due to school closure. It not only is a consideration that we have to take into play when we consider closing schools for a day or multiple days in reference to the instructional time lost to students, but there's also contracts with our staff members that we have that require them to be at work for a certain number of days throughout the school year. And if we close the schools, those days are impacted on students, but then we have to consider how will staff be able to make up that day that has now been lost, and what will that effect and impact be for our staff. So those are all things that we have to consider in addition to whether or not it is enough of a reason to close school, whether it's based on weather or whether it's based on some sort of emergency in the community, that the state will then consider and allow us to apply for and approve a waiver for that day, which would then mean that $445,000 for that day will not be lost due to the non-instruction of students. So there is a lot that has to be considered when I am sitting on a Sunday afternoon trying to decide whether or not to close the schools in reference to Tropical Storm Hillary and the impact that may have had on our students. Those are some of the things that I have to consider. And this waiver is being provided to the board for approval tonight, so we can then send it on to the state, to the CDE, California Department of Education, to see if they agree with the decision I made on August 20th to close the schools on August 21 for the safety of our students and staff. And if they believe that our reasons were significant enough, and approve the waiver and allow us to still be fully funded for that day, even though student instruction was not occurring.
Okay. All right, thank you.
And I'll address any questions.
If they deny it, then do we have to make the day up?
We would either have to make the day up, or we will lose the $445,000 in funding for that day. And so it's a heavy decision to make. Most situations are eligible, but this waiver is what we must provide to the CDE to ensure that we are eligible for closing schools on August 21. We still need to negotiate with the unions in reference to how to staff make up the day that they lost per their contracts. And we will do that. I've already had a conversation with Mr. Gutierrez.
All right, thank you. The next item I wanted to pull was K44, notice of award with bid deficiency. Is there
I'm
something?
gonna take action.
To vote on the waiver.
Okay,
So
So-
moved. To approve.
to approve the waiver, do I get a motion and a second?
So.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Item K44, notice of award with bid deficiency authorization for payment of utility trucks. And I pulled that also, just because I wanted to bring some transparency to this, because it's something I've never seen before. So if we can shine some light on that, I'd appreciate it.
I would be glad to shine some light on this situation. So in school districts, we try very hard to follow all the rules and requirements that school districts are mandated to follow. Going out for bid at certain costs for certain items is a requirement of all school districts to follow under the purchasing department. And we try to maintain all those requirements and follow all the rules that are stated in the bid documents. But every now and then we miscalculate what those numbers look like, and we, in this situation, did not go out to bid for 2 utility trucks, 2 utility vehicles for M&O. And in reference to using some of our ESSER dollars to purchase some utility trucks to ensure that we can maintain our HVACs and provide transportation for any services that the warehouse may need in reference to COVID and the closures that we experienced. This is to continue on that and to be prepared for any future instances. The utility trucks would be what we'd be using for those situations. And in our haste to get the utility trucks purchased, we missed the requirement to go out to bid for these 2 utility trucks. So we did not follow the bid process. And the County Office of Education is coming down and requiring the board to now look at the purchase and approve this purchase without bid. You don't see this very often because we don't necessarily make this mistake very frequently, but it does happen. And when it does happen, in order for us to make the payment for this purchase, we have to bring this to the board and let you know that we missed a step. And the trucks have already been purchased, we already have them in our possession, and in order to make that payment, we need the board to approve the purchase of utility trucks outside the bid process. And that is what this item on the agenda is for.
Okay, so I had pulled that just because I wanted to bring the transparency up. I know we probably would have questioned it, but just in case there's some wondering minds. So I think at this point, can I get a motion and a second to accept the K44?
So move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. So now can we go on to discussion items? Is that correct?
Yes.
Discussion items, L21, new course outline textbook, CSU expository reading and writing, 11- Barstow High School. Information proposed adoption of the new course outlines, CSU expository reading and writing and curriculum. Is presented to Board of Trustees for information, background information, Ms. Swearingen.
And I'm going to hand this over to Mr. Guthrie.
Yes, as you remember, last year you approved the ERWC grade 12 course. It's a fully online course and is aligned with A through G requirements. So students who complete the course are now eligible to apply for CSU or UC schools. It also removes a barrier for our students in that if they pass ERWC 11 and ERWC 12, they are not required to complete an intake test at their school of choice, whether it be at Cal State San Bernardino or UC Irvine. It gives them one more leg up on their competition so they can hit the ground running when they go to school.
Okay, thank you. And that was presented for information only. So we will go to Al. Yeah,
I have one
sorry.
quick question on that.
Sure.
I see the website that's listed directly in there. Are we able to view whatever the curriculum and content would be through there, or is that like special login or?
No, you can contact my administrative assistant, Melissa Cruz, and she can give you access. It's open to anyone. It is vetted through the UC and Cal State systems, so it's top-notch curriculum.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, we'll go to L41, purchase order listing, 08/16/2023 to 09/05/2023. Mr. Beaton, I assume?
Yes.
I assume right on.
Yeah, you assume right. We have August 16th through August, September 5th. We have 165 purchase orders in the amount of $4,692,432.37. It's the information line.
Anybody have any questions or concerns? Okay, I do have one. I'm trying to find it. I can't give you the PO, but it's for $1 million and it's an open PO. Is that kind of a normal amount? What is that for? How does that just, because of the large figure, just drew my attention, so.
Right, so last year we had the same expense. It's for speech therapy that we're contracting with Presence Learning. Last year we had 429 students use this service. It's mostly for our special needs. We have an estimate of 380 hours a week for 36 school weeks. And that is $957,600 for that service.
So we chew all of that up pretty much, huh?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
And then, depending on what services are needed through the year, it's an open PO, so
Yeah.
if we go over, we'd have to come back to the board and ask for more. There's also a one-time fee of $19,152. There's a 2.5% monthly clinical service fee, so they're getting you. And then estimated annual service coordination fee is also $21,546.
Anybody else have anything? Yeah. Okay, can I get a motion and a second?
So move.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item L42, public hearing adoption of 2022-2023 unaudited actuals financial report. Recommending the Board of Trustees adjourn to a public hearing regarding the 2022-2023 unaudited actuals financial report. It is 6 o'clock and we will adjourn. Anybody? So it is 6 o'clock and 30 seconds. We will reconvene. Following the public hearing, recommending that the Board of Trustees authorize the district to file the annual unaudited actuals financial report with the County Superintendent of Schools, and that Deanna Swearingen, Secretary of the Governing Board, be authorized to sign said report. Background information, Ms. Swearingen.
Mr. Beaton has a presentation for the 2022-2023 unaudited actuals. I'll hand it over to him.
Thank you. Board President Chris Nakamura, board members, superintendent, staff, parents, community. I'd like to share with you our unaudited actuals. For me, this is always a time of reflection to look back at the year and see how we've done when we go to file our unaudited actuals. All the other previous reports are projections and estimates of what we're doing. So this is a good fun time for me because it's real, it's a real number. So that's just like to share that with you. So on or before September 15th, we have to file this with CDE, with the county, and then they in turn file it on our behalf on October 15th to the CDE for our unaudited actions. Our LCFF revenue this year was $80,214,724. Our federal is $15 million. State 25, that's all the extra money they've been pushing down to us. And then our local, $2,000,005 for a total of $123,649,412.59. I produced a graph for you so you can kind of see what that looks, breakdown in a pie situation. So you can see 65% of our revenue is generated by the LCFF. Our expenditures for this year, we have 31 million in certificated salaries, 14 million in classified. Our benefits are 20. Books and supplies, 5 million. Services, 18. Our capital expenditures, that's when we do our one-time spending for those projects that we're working on. Our other alcohol or transfers for almost 2 million, for a total of $92,056,046.74. I also produced a graph here for you. You can see that 71% of our expenditures are for personnel. We are a highly driven personnel organization. So that's there for you. Which brings us to our fund balance. We had a beginning fund balance of $34,803,681.43. No restatements, so our adjusted beginning stayed the same. We have our revenue and our expenditures with an increase in the fund balance of $29,593,365.85, giving us an ending funding balance of $64,397,047.20. Our components of that fund balance, we keep $50,000 in cash. Our stores inventory is there at $364,000. Our prepaid expenses this year was only $10,000. Our restricted ending balance, that's the categorical money. They've been giving us a lot of money up front, and so we'll have the next few years to spend that. And that's what you see there. We have our designation for economic uncertainty, almost $3 million. And our committed balance, $33 million. And so we have an ending funding balance of the $64,397,047.20. I also wanted to share with you how we spent our coronavirus relief money over the last 3 years. So if in blue, that's your allocated money that's what our allocation was, cash received and we spent it. So if it's in blue, that means we got everything we allocated and we spent it. So blue is good. White would be money received, but we haven't quite spent it yet. So that's some of the money you'll see in the reserves. And the red is we spent more than we received. And we only have one item like that, so that's our 2 money. So we'll be waiting on that money to actually come in once we do a report and they spend the money. And then we have ESSER 3, the money received, and the white we haven't spent it yet, so we received the money. And blue is once again we spent the money. The money was allocated, it's been received, and we spent it. So that's overall we've done what we needed to do as far as spending our coronavirus relief money. So my recommendation is that we approve and file the 22-23 unaudited actuals with the county superintendent.
Thank you very much. Anybody have any questions, concerns? No? Can I get a motion and a second to accept this?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Aye, okay. Certificated L6A1, Resolution 5, 2023-2024, teaching out of the major field of study. Recommendation. Recommending the Board of Trustees approve Resolution 5, 2023-2024, teaching out of their major field of study. Certificated contract personnel who are teaching out of their major field of study or credential area. Background information, Ms. Swearingen.
I'm going to hand this over to Mr. Gutierrez.
Thank you, Ms. Swearingen. So every year we have a resolution under Title V. We have teachers that are fully credentialed but are teaching out of their field of study. For example, you might have an elementary teacher being our TOSA for PBIS. You might have a situation where a math teacher needs to take an additional course section to meet the needs of the school site. They qualify under the minimum requirements, under the supplementary courses of study that they have, but they're not fully credentialed in that area. And so you have those two situations that are a little bit different from each other. And then you might have a teacher teaching ELD the whole day. They're qualified to teach it, but it's not the major field of study. So this resolution is presented to the board for approval tonight.
Any questions? Can I get a motion and a second? I'll make the motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, L6B2, public hearing for provisional internship permits, otherwise known as PIP, for educators for the 2023-2024 school year. Recommendation, recommending the Board of Trustees adjourn to a public hearing to provide an opportunity for the board to receive input concerning the proposed provisional internship permits. It is 6:08, we'll adjourn. Anybody have any input? All right, then we will say we're going to reconvene at 6:08 in 30 seconds. Following the public hearing, recommend that the Board of Trustees approve the submission to the state of the said permits pertaining to specific California teaching credential requirements. Do we need to go through all those?
I'll hand this over to Mr. Gutierrez, if he can just give you a brief, and then.
So yeah, so just to give them, again, this kind of sounds like a broken record now with the PIPs. But this is to meet an immediate need for the district. We advertised and no fully credentialed teachers came forward. So this is presented to the board for approval tonight. The candidates are going to be working to meet the requirements set by CTC. So.
And this is just pretty common, and that's going to be the trend for a while, right?
Yes,
With the shortage in teachers, yeah, okay. So we're getting used to it. Can I get a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, classified. L6B1, increase in work hours at classified positions, paraeducator needs. Recommendation, recommending the Board of Trustees approve the increase in work hours for the classified positions listed, effective September 13th, 2023. CIASN 098 paraeducator special needs, Skyline North Elementary from 6 hours to 6.5 hours per day. CIACLO 17 paraeducator special needs, Cameron Elementary from 5 hours to 6.5 hours per day. Background information, board approval is required for an increase in work hours. There are incumbents in these positions. Current considerations. Heather Reed, Director 2, Pupil Services, has identified a need to increase the hours of these positions based on the increased need for supportive students receiving special education services. Financial implications, the cost to the district for the increase in this position in salary, benefits, and employer's cost is approximately $12,000 and will be paid from the special education funds. Superintendent recommends approval. Any questions or concerns? Can I get a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. L6B2, establishment of classified positions, 2 paraeducator speech pupil services. Recommendation, recommending the Board of Trustees approve the establishment of the following classified positions at Pupil Services, Fine Arts, and Barstow Intermediate. 2, paraeducator speech, 6 hours per day, 185 days per year, range 24, effective September 13th, 2023. Background information, board approval is required to establish new classified positions. These positions are tentative on the approval. Current considerations, alternatives. Heather Reed, Director 2, is requesting the establishment of the above positions for Pupil Services, Fine Arts Academy, and Barstow Intermediate School. Financial implications, the cost to the district for these positions in salary, benefits, and employer costs is approximately $71,000 and will be paid from special education funds. Superintendent recommends approval. Any questions, concerns? I will make a motion. Can I get a second? And
I'll second that.
And all in favor?
Aye.
L6B3, transfer a classified position, paraeducator special needs. Recommendation, recommending the Board of Trustees approve the transfer of paraeducator special needs position as listed below. Staffing considerations, one paraeducator special needs position, CIASN 093, 6 hours per day, 185 days per year, range 26, from Henderson Elementary to Barstow Intermediate School, effective August 2nd, 2023. Background information, board approval is required to transfer established classified positions. Current considerations, alternatives, Heather Reed, Director 2, People Services, is requesting to transfer the position listed. This position is being transferred in support of a student promoted to the intermediate school. The incumbent in the above listed position will be transferred as well. Financial implications, there are none. Superintendent recommends approval. Do we have any questions or concerns? Can I get a motion in a second?
So move.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Items for future board meetings, anybody?
Not a particular item just quite yet, but we will be having a parent advisory meeting that's coming up next week, correct?
There's a parent advisory committee meeting tomorrow that are the principal and parent advisors, but then next month, I'll be working on a parent advisory committee meeting for parents to come in and be able to listen to all the great things that we're doing for the community and then provide input and ask for things that they might be looking for, like workshops or support in certain areas, so.
Just wanted to put that out there, and then so also from that and from the concerns, if we need to, then we can establish workshops, community outreach, and that sort of thing, depending on what the results are and what the concerns are that come out of that.
All right, thank you. Do we need to go back to the closed session?
We do not.
We do not. It is 6:14. We will adjourn.
Could I pass it down to the board members?
If you want to hand them to me, then I'll make sure they each get one.
Well, I want to make sure they do.
Let me stop our light real quick here.
How are you? Welcome. Congratulations.